Landon, a kind-hearted man, decided to extend a hand of generosity. He met Jasper, a homeless man known for his quiet presence on the same street corner every day. Wanting to make a difference, Landon gave Jasper several $25 gift cards, hoping to bring some comfort to his difficult life. The next day, Landon found out what Jasper bought with the cards, and he couldn't help but cry. Landon could not help but be a bit excited about the prospect of seeing Jasper again. He was very curious to see what he had spent his kind-hearted gesture on. Landon had given him very specific gift cards for food and camping supplies in the hopes he would use them to improve his life a little bit. He liked Jasper, but Landon did not trust him enough to give just straight money. Who knew what he would spend it on? Landon would not say he was exactly friends with Jasper, but the more they saw each other, the more often they exchanged a couple of words, mostly about the dog Jasper had by his side, named Dynamo. Landon learned some things about Jasper's situation and wanted to help him. That is why he had decided to try and help him out. For at least the past couple of weeks, Landon had seen Jasper sitting in the exact same spot together with his dog. But when Landon walked past the spot, he was surprised to see that Jasper was not there today. In fact, all of his stuff seemed to be gone as well. Landon was confused. Why would he leave a spot where he got such a big donation? There were also a couple of other homeless people around. Landon could have decided to just let this situation be and forget about Jasper. But he was simply too curious and also desired some credit for his good deed. So he decided to make conversation with a couple of the other homeless around and see if they knew what happened to Jasper. Landon quickly learned a couple of things. The first was that none of the homeless people here really knew much about Jasper besides his name. While most of them worked together often and, in turn, had a decent connection, Jasper was always very much to himself. It was just him and his dog again, the world it seemed, and the other homeless respected that. Some of them had in fact seen him pack up his things shortly after Landon had reportedly given him the gift cards. At first, it seemed like these gift cards were thus the reason that he decided to leave. But that was only half of the truth. Two of the homeless that Landon talked to caught him very much off guard when they pulled something very familiar out of their bag. One of them had 3 gift cards, and the second homeless had the 4th one. And Landon has no doubt that these were the ones he gifted to Jasper. The homeless man explained that moments after Jasper had received the gift cards, he started coming by the other homeless to try and sell the gift cards to them. He even offered them for as low as $15 per gift card, meaning he would make a $40 loss in total. The homeless man explained that they could not leave such a deal on the table as they had no problem using these gift cards at their designated spots. Landon was shocked to learn that exchanges like this happened very often in the homeless community. He thought he had found a fail-proof method of helping Jasper, but turns out he was very ignorant of the craftiness of a homeless person. Landon asked the man if they knew what Jasper was going to spend the money on, but they had no idea. They could hazard a guess that he would go straight to a dealer. You can get a good score with $60, and that is sadly what most homeless people around here were after. However, that would not explain why he had packed up all his things and left. Landon speculated that that might be because Jasper could not deal with the shame if he saw him again. But the other homeless man laughed that off, as they were pretty sure Jasper did not really care about his feelings for Landon. Out on the street, you can only survive if you look out for yourself under all circumstances. They doubted that Jasper did this any differently. Landon wrestled with mixed feelings as he walked, Dynamo by his side. The conversation with the homeless man lingered in his mind, painting Jasper in a light of indifference. Yet, Landon couldn't shake off his concern, especially for Dynamo. He thought a local shelter might offer both safety for the dog and insight into Jasper's actions. The decision weighed heavily on him, a blend of betrayal and care stirring within. As they arrived at the shelter, Landon felt a tug at his heart. He hoped to find some clue about Jasper, but more importantly, he wanted to ensure Dynamo's well-being. The shelter, known for its dedication to animals and their owners in need, seemed like a beacon of hope. Landon's steps were heavy with worry and determination, unsure of what he would discover, but resolved to offer Dynamo a stable haven. The shelter staff's eyes lit up with recognition at the sight of Dynamo. "We know this dog," they exclaimed, sharing stories of Jasper's previous visits, his efforts to get Dynamo cared for. They spoke of funded vet visits, of Jasper's struggle to provide for his companion. Landon listened, a new perspective of Jasper slowly forming. The man he thought he knew was starting to unravel, revealing layers he hadn't seen before. As the staff shared their experiences, Landon was struck by the care Jasper had shown for Dynamo. They spoke of Jasper's potential, of his sporadic yet sincere attempts to make a better life for both of them. It was a side of Jasper that Landon hadn't considered, obscured by the harsh realities of street life. These revelations sparked a newfound determination in Landon to find Jasper, not just for Dynamo's sake, but perhaps for Jasper's too. Leaving the shelter, Landon felt a glimmer of hope. The staff's stories had opened his eyes to a different Jasper, one who cared deeply for Dynamo. With new determination, Landon resolved to find Jasper, to understand him better, and to help if he could. The path ahead was uncertain, but Landon was committed. For the first time since he'd begun this journey, he felt a sense of purpose guiding his steps. With a slip of paper in hand, Landon felt a renewed sense of purpose. The address of the vet clinic, provided by the shelter staff, was a tangible lead in his quest to find Jasper. This small piece of information ignited a deeper commitment within Landon. He was more determined than ever to track down Jasper, not just for Dynamo's sake, but to understand the man's choices and challenges. Landon's arrival at the vet's office was fueled by a complex blend of concern and an almost obsessive desire to assist. The clinic stood as a beacon of potential answers in his search for Jasper. As he stepped through the doors, Landon's mind raced with possibilities and questions. He was driven by the hope that the staff here could provide the next piece of the puzzle. After some convincing, the vet's assistant hesitantly offered Jasper's full name and a last known address. Landon was taken aback by the unexpected breakthrough. This new information was a significant lead, far more than he had hoped to find. The revelation added a new layer of reality to his search, transforming Jasper from a face on the street to a person with a history and connections. The address led Landon to a residential neighborhood, a stark contrast to the urban backdrop he associated with Jasper. The neat rows of houses seemed worlds away from the streets Jasper had called home. Landon's expectations were upended as he navigated this unexpected turn in his journey. The realization that Jasper's life had layers beyond what he had seen on the street deepened the mystery. Standing before Jasper's parents' house, Landon hesitated. This was a step into the unknown, far beyond the initial act of giving. He was about to bridge the gap between his perception of Jasper and the reality of his life. With a mix of uncertainty and hope, Landon raised his hand to knock. He was seeking answers, but also offering his own willingness to understand and possibly help. Jasper's parents welcomed Landon into their home with open arms, their kindness a balm to his apprehensive heart. As they spoke of Jasper, a portrait of their son's life began to emerge, painted with broad strokes of love and concern. Their willingness to share spoke volumes, providing Landon with a deeper understanding of Jasper's circumstances and the complexities that had led him to his current life. Through stories shared by Jasper's parents, Landon began to see the man behind the face he had known on the streets. They spoke of Jasper's pride, his ambitions, and the series of events that led to his downfall. This narrative challenged Landon's initial perceptions, revealing a depth and humanity to Jasper that he hadn't considered. Jasper was not just a man struggling on the streets. He was someone who had fought and lost many battles. The conversation turned to Jasper's battles with substance use, a topic that his parents approached with both sensitivity and sorrow. They detailed the grip addiction had on Jasper, intertwining with his pride and exacerbating his fall. This insight added layers to Jasper's character, illustrating the complex interplay between personal struggle and external circumstances in the journey through addiction. In a gesture of trust and hope, Jasper's parents provided Landon with a phone number, a direct line to Jasper himself. This new connection was a beacon for Landon, offering a tangible way to reach out and possibly bridge the gap that had formed between them. It symbolized a chance not only for Landon to understand Jasper better, but also to offer support in a way that was direct and personal. Holding the phone number, Landon felt a mix of emotions. It was a lifeline to Jasper, yet it underscored the distance still between them. As he left Jasper's parents' home, he was armed with new knowledge and a direct way to reach Jasper, but the uncertainty of the outcome weighed heavily on him. Dialing that number would be a step into the unknown, fueled by hope and a desire to make a difference. Landon's fingers hovered over the phone, each digit of Jasper's number pressing heavily with anticipation and anxiety. The act of calling felt monumental, a bridge between intention and action. As the phone rang, Landon's heart raced, hope and fear intertwining with each tone. This call was more than an attempt to connect. It was a test of the impact one person could truly have on another. Days stretched into silence, each passing moment a weight on Landon's hopeful heart. The lack of response from Jasper left him questioning the effectiveness of his efforts. Had the outreach been too late, or perhaps too little? This silence was not just an absence of voice, but a void filled with doubts about the reach and significance of his attempts to help. In the quiet that followed his outreach, Landon found himself reflecting on the nature of his involvement in Jasper's life. What had begun as a simple act of kindness had evolved into a complex journey of understanding and empathy. Landon pondered the fine line between helping and intruding, between making a difference and facing the limits of his influence. These reflections brought introspection, challenging his perceptions of what it meant to truly help someone. The ongoing silence from Jasper forced Landon to confront the reality of his expectations. He had hoped for immediate connection, for a sign that his efforts had made a difference. Instead, he found himself in a limbo of waiting, a space where hope and disappointment coexisted. This period of uncertainty tested Landon's resolve, pushing him to consider the motivations behind his actions and the true meaning of support. Just as the weight of silence threatened to dissuade Landon from his path, a message arrived. Jasper's name on the screen was like a beacon, piercing through the doubts and questions that had gathered. This unexpected communication set a new course for their story, reigniting Landon's hope and determination. It was a reminder that change often comes not with grand gestures, but with small, significant moments of connection. Landon's eyes scanned Jasper's message, the digital words offering a place and time for their meeting. The coordinates on the screen seemed to glow with potential, reigniting the hope that had dimmed during the silent days of waiting. This message was a lifeline, pulling Landon back from the brink of giving up and setting his heart ablaze with the possibility of reconnecting and understanding Jasper's story. With the meeting set, Landon felt a whirlwind of emotions. The decision to face Jasper was fraught with uncertainty, yet Landon couldn't ignore the pull of what this encounter could mean. Each possibility played out in his mind, a mosaic of outcomes both hopeful and daunting. Preparing for this meeting wasn't just about showing up. It was about opening himself to whatever truths the encounter might reveal. Seeking a sense of grounding, Landon decided to bring his own dog to the meeting. This decision wasn't just practical, it was symbolic, a bridge of familiarity in an ocean of unknowns. His dog's presence promised a silent support, a non-judgmental companion in this moment of vulnerability. Together, they would face whatever this meeting brought, the comfort of his pet, a balm to the swirling thoughts and nerves. Landon arrived at the dog park earlier than planned, the empty benches and quiet paths amplifying his sense of anticipation. The park, usually a place of joy and unrestrained canine enthusiasm, now felt like the stage for a significant life moment. As he looked around, Landon's heart raced with a cocktail of apprehension and curiosity, each beat a reminder of the importance of the forthcoming encounter. Time stretched out before Landon as he waited for Jasper, each passing minute a thread in the tapestry of their interconnected stories. Sitting there, Landon's mind wandered through the maze of events that had led him to this point. Reflections on his initial act of kindness, the subsequent search, and the emotional rollercoaster of the past weeks wove a complex backdrop to the anticipation of Jasper's arrival. Jasper appeared at the edge of the park, his arrival marked by the hesitant gait and the weight of the world seemingly on his shoulders. The moment he stepped into view, the air tensed with anticipation. Landon's heart skipped a beat, the sight of Jasper stirring a complex mix of emotions. The man before him was both familiar and a stranger, his late appearance adding a layer of gravity to their impending conversation. As Jasper approached, he released Dynamo, who burst into the park with an energy that only freedom and the sight of a beloved friend could inspire. Dynamo's joy was infectious, a vivid display of unfiltered emotion that momentarily lifted the heaviness of the atmosphere. This simple act of release transformed the park into a scene of pure, heartfelt reunion, reminding Landon of the deep bond between Jasper and his dog. Jasper and Dynamo's reunion was a poignant sight, their connection palpable even from a distance. Dynamo's tail wagged furiously, his body language speaking volumes of love and loyalty. Jasper knelt down, embracing Dynamo with a tenderness that belied his rugged exterior. This moment of reunion was a powerful testament to their bond, a silent story of companionship and unconditional love witnessed by Landon from afar. Landon watched the reunion, a respectful observer to the private moment unfolding before him. The raw emotion displayed between Jasper and Dynamo stirred something within him, a recognition of the profound connection they shared. Choosing to hold back, Landon allowed them space, understanding that some moments required solitude to fully express the depth of feeling. His presence was muted, a silent support from the sidelines. After giving Jasper and Dynamo time to reconnect, Landon felt the moment was right to bridge the distance between them. With each step forward, he was acutely aware of the significance of this approach. This was more than just a physical distance to be covered. It was a gesture of willingness to understand, to offer support, and perhaps to mend the gaps that circumstance had imposed on their budding connection. As Jasper wiped away tears, a window into his soul seemed to open, revealing the depth of his struggles. Landon, witnessing this raw display of emotion, felt a surge of empathy. It was a poignant reminder of the human behind the hardship, inviting an understanding that words alone could not convey. Jasper's vulnerability broke down barriers, drawing Landon into a shared space of compassion and connection. In the quiet of the park, Jasper began to share his story, his voice a mixture of resilience and weariness. Landon listened intently, the world around them receding into a backdrop for this moment of truth. The act of listening became a bridge, spanning the gap of experiences between them. As Jasper spoke, Landon offered his undivided attention, a silent promise to understand without judgment. Between Jasper's confessions, silence fell like a gentle rain, each drop a moment of mutual understanding and respect. These pauses were not empty, but filled with the weight of words unspoken, emotions too deep for speech. In this shared silence, both men navigated the delicate waters of their conversation, acknowledging the gravity of Jasper's experiences and the space they occupied together. Jasper's narrative gently unfolded the layers of Dynamo's significance in his life. He hinted at the extraordinary lengths he went to for the welfare of his dog, setting a foundation for a deeper revelation. This glimpse into Jasper's priorities illuminated the bond between him and Dynamo, showcasing a love that defied circumstances, hinting at sacrifices made in the shadow of adversity. The unfolding conversation and shared moments between Jasper, Dynamo, and Landon wove a bond that transcended previous misunderstandings. It was a connection forged in the crucible of shared emotions, a recognition of shared humanity. This bond, beyond the realm of words, was a testament to the capacity for empathy, understanding, and the unexpected paths that lead to genuine companionship and mutual respect. After a moment of shared silence, Landon gently approached Jasper, giving him the time he needed to gather his thoughts. This respectful distance allowed Jasper the space to compose himself, setting the stage for a more profound conversation. Landon's approach was measured, mindful of the vulnerability Jasper had just shown. It was an act of kindness, an acknowledgement of Jasper's dignity in the midst of his struggles. Jasper began to open up about the challenges he had faced, his voice breaking through tears. He spoke of the cold nights, the hunger, and the loneliness, but more poignantly, he hinted at a decision that weighed heavily on his heart. This moment of honesty revealed the depth of Jasper's struggles, painting a picture of a man pushed to the brink, yet still holding on to something precious. As Jasper spoke, it became clear that the heart of his story was Dynamo. The bond between man and dog was undeniable, a beacon of loyalty and love in Jasper's turbulent life. Jasper's actions, once veiled in mystery, began to take on a new light, underscoring the emotional weight of his choices. This deep connection highlighted the sacrifices Jasper was willing to make for Dynamo, revealing a layer of depth to his character that Landon had not fully appreciated before. Jasper paused, gathering his thoughts before revealing the true reason behind his recent actions. The anticipation built as he took a deep breath, preparing to share something deeply personal. Landon listened intently, aware that the forthcoming revelation would shed light on Jasper's motivations and the lengths he was willing to go to for those he cared about. This moment was a turning point, bridging the gap between misunderstanding and insight. With a heavy heart, Jasper finally revealed that he had sold the gift cards Landon gave him to pay for an urgent surgery Dynamo needed. This confession challenged Landon's initial assumptions and judgments. The revelation underscored a profound truth. Jasper's actions, driven by desperation and love, were a testament to his character. This moment of clarity brought a new understanding between Landon and Jasper, highlighting the complexity of survival and the sacrifices made in the name of love. Landon sat in silence, absorbing Jasper's words. The revelation illuminated Jasper's actions in a new light, revealing a depth of love for Dynamo that Landon hadn't fully grasped before. This understanding shifted Landon's perspective, allowing him to see the complexities of Jasper's situation through a lens of empathy and compassion. Jasper's dedication to Dynamo was a powerful testament to his character, reshaping Landon's understanding and connection to both Jasper and Dynamo. Reflecting on Jasper's revelation, Landon realized the true impact of his gesture. What had started as a simple act of kindness had rippled into something much larger, ultimately contributing to Dynamo's well-being. This realization highlighted the unpredictable nature of kindness, how a small act could lead to significant outcomes, unforeseen but profoundly positive. Landon's reflections deepened his appreciation for the nuances of helping others and the potential for kindness to change lives. The truth behind Jasper's actions served as a pivotal moment for Landon, challenging him to reassess his previous judgments. Understanding the desperation behind Jasper's decision to sell the gift cards, Landon began to see homelessness and addiction in a new light. This was a moment of introspection, prompting a shift in Landon's perceptions. He recognized the complexity of the issues at hand, acknowledging that the stories of those like Jasper were layered with challenges and choices far beyond surface appearances. In the wake of Jasper's confession, a profound connection formed between the two men. This shared moment transcended their initial encounters, grounded in a mutual recognition of life's complexities and the transformative power of compassion. Landon and Jasper, once strangers connected by circumstance, now shared a bond forged through understanding and empathy. It was a poignant reminder of how compassion could bridge the widest gaps, creating connections that resonate with shared humanity. As their conversation continued, Landon and Jasper began to discuss potential paths forward. Landon, mindful of respecting Jasper's autonomy, offered support in a way that empowered Jasper to make decisions for himself and Dynamo. Their dialogue opened up possibilities for assistance that aligned with Jasper's needs and dignity, marking a new chapter in their relationship. This forward-looking conversation was a testament to the growth and understanding they had both achieved, laying the groundwork for future support and collaboration. Landon left the meeting with Jasper feeling a profound sense of closure, knowing that his actions, though initially small in his eyes, played a crucial role in Dynamo's recovery, filled him with a sense of completion. This understanding brought a comforting resolution to the whirlwind of emotions and actions that had characterized his journey from a simple gesture of kindness to a meaningful impact on a life. As Landon reflected on the path that led him to this point, he recognized the true value of his efforts. Despite moments of doubt and uncertainty, his persistence and willingness to step into the unknown had led to a positive outcome for Dynamo. This realization underscored the importance of effort, no matter how insignificant it might seem at the start, and its potential to make a significant difference in the lives of others. The journey with Jasper and Dynamo taught Landon invaluable lessons about the complexities of offering help and the critical role of empathy in understanding others. He learned that helping isn't just about the act itself, but about connecting with individuals on a human level, recognizing their needs and respecting their dignity. These lessons reshaped Landon's approach to helping others, emphasizing the importance of empathy and understanding. With a deeper grasp of Jasper and Dynamo's situation, Landon found peace in his role in their story. This renewed understanding allowed him to see beyond the surface of Jasper's struggles, appreciating the depth of their experiences and the resilience they demonstrated. Landon's journey from a bystander to an active participant in their lives culminated in a sense of fulfillment and a renewed perspective on the impact one individual can have. In their conversation about the future, Landon and Jasper explored the possibilities that lay ahead, buoyed by the growth and changes sparked by their encounter. They discussed plans with a sense of optimism, acknowledging the challenges, but also the potential for positive developments. This forward-looking discussion highlighted the journey's transformative effect on both men, setting the stage for a future defined by hope, understanding, and continued support. Landon and Jasper shared a moment of reflection, looking back on the unexpected journey that brought them together. They acknowledged the growth they experienced and the lessons learned along the way. This reflection was not just about the hardships faced, but also about the resilience and strength they found within themselves and each other. Their conversation was a testament to the journey's power to change perspectives and forge unlikely connections. Their story underscored the critical role of empathy in bridging divides and understanding the struggles of others. Landon's initial act of kindness, driven by a simple desire to help, evolved into a deeper connection with Jasper, rooted in empathy and mutual respect. This narrative championed the message that compassion and support are foundational elements in addressing the challenges faced by individuals like Jasper, highlighting the transformative impact of empathy. As Landon considered the journey's end, he contemplated the broader implications of his actions. He recognized that his efforts, while focused on Jasper and Dynamo, had a ripple effect, influencing the community around them. This broader view encouraged Landon to continue his acts of kindness, understanding that even the smallest gestures can contribute to a larger narrative of compassion and support within the community. The story neared its conclusion on a hopeful note, with both Landon and Jasper optimistic about the future. They discussed their plans and aspirations, acknowledging the support they would continue to offer each other. This hopeful outlook was a reflection of their journey's transformative effect, showcasing the potential for positive change and mutual support when individuals come together with empathy and understanding. As their story concluded, readers were left with a sense of closure and a deepened understanding of Landon and Jasper's journeys. The narrative emphasized the transformative power of empathy and kindness, showcasing how these qualities can lead to meaningful connections and positive changes. This conclusion was not just an end, but a reminder of the ongoing impact of compassion in the lives of individuals and the broader community, marking the close of one chapter and the anticipation of future stories yet untold.